Action!
Hello. Welcome.
What's up?
Okay.
So,
Hello.
welcome.
I exist.
So, welcome everybody to the first of hopefully many Q&A live streams. My name is Mr. G. I will be your chair and host for the evening. It's lovely to see quite a fair amount of people here already, both in the Discord and on the YouTube channel. So many thanks for being here tonight. Genuinely, it means a lot to us to see so much support from everywhere. And I mean everywhere. We've got people from all over the globe, hopefully, listening in. And let's get started, I suppose, with the introductions. We're going to I've got several lovely team members here today. And I guess the best way to start is with, obviously, our director and project founder, Al Javis. So, Al, would you like to introduce yourself? Although I've already done that.
Hello there, everybody. This is Al Javis here, and I am the director of EoJ. So I am your overlord.
Of course he is.
Brilliant.
Yay.
We do love the overlord. He doesn't work us too hard to death, I promise. Up next, we have one of our managers and also one of our writers. He has been pretty much one of the reasons that the project took a 180, or at least has been attributed to it. Although I will say there are definitely a lot of things that go into EoJ which make things quite interesting. But nevertheless, I'd like to introduce you all to Serenity.
Hey. Yeah. I'm Serenity. I'm one of the managers, as Mr. G said, and one of the writers. I'm the one who makes sure Al Javis doesn't go too far with his crazy shenanigans in regards to this series. I'm essentially the one who keeps him on a leash.
Pretty much.
Which is a pretty impressive feat by itself, not going to lie. So kudos. We also have another writer, but also one of our, fledgling, but I would say very good musicians as well. Please welcome Jarvie Jared.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jarvie Jared. I am indeed one of the writers and script editors for this production, but I have also taken up the musician role. In fact, I am responsible for composing the themes for Private Eye and Turning Page, which you would have seen in episode 2-1.
Brilliant. And there's plenty more of good stuff to come, I'm sure. As well as, our writers, directors, we also have quite a lot of other roles which are sometimes not necessarily remembered, but are just as crucial to getting these episodes out. One of those people is also probably one of the most recognizable, considering most of the interesting actions that they like to partake in. But I would like to also now introduce you to our lead video editor, Patrick, the Joker Brown.
I hate you. But yes, I am the lead video editor for this project. And our job as the video editors is to make sure that everything you see with your eyeballs looks as pleasant as possible.
Which it usually does, so great job on there. But speaking of making things looking gorgeous and to, make things visually appealing, we also have our lead background artist here tonight, so please welcome as well, Viola Rose.
Hello, I am one of the background artists for the project. And yeah, I've been excited to work on EoJ, and I'm happy to be a part of the team.
Well, it's great to have you here, Viola, and thank you as well for coming along, and thank you to everybody here as well. As well as, having video editors, background artists, there's also, being an audio drama and an audio series, we require a lot of, sound engineering. And one of those audio engineers is one of my, colleagues and friends. Please welcome Joel.
Hello. My name is Joel, and I'm one of the audio engineers for Elements of Justice. I've never been part of a fan project before, but I gotta say, it's been a great time here so far.
Brilliant. It's great to have you here, Joel, and great working with you as well. Now, we were scheduled to have one of the voice actor for Phoenix Wright today, Julius Gemstone. Unfortunately, due to a scheduling conflict, he wasn't able to make it. However, in his place, we were able to get another one of our more, one of our recent VAs, but also one of the most important VAs, I would argue. Please welcome Katie.
So I have had 2 minutes on screen. I am going to argue with you here.
I knew you would contradict me on that one. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. I am Katie, also known as Overgrowth. I voice Fair Devotion and Sugar Stamp. And I'm really glad to be here. I'm sad that Julius couldn't make it, but yeah.
Well,
also, Pat is oil milk.
Is oil milk?
Yeah.
Wow. Immediately.
Okay.
Is it? Is it? Though?
If it weren't for the fact that you are my younger sister, I would beat you to a pulp right now.
You couldn't beat me to a pulp if you tried.
Cancelled.
All right. Well, some sibling rivalry and sibling love aside, I'd also like to welcome another one of our voice actors. Also recently joined in, especially for this particular case, and also unfortunately dealing with being one of the two main defendants. Please welcome Shannon Silverfeathers.
I am Shannon, also known as Silver Feathers. I'm the voice of Scootaloo. I've been a big fan of this series since I first heard about it, and I feel totally honored to be on this team. And Mr. G, I would really appreciate it if you did not hail me during this interviewing Q&A process, please.
Oh, no. We must hail Shannon, though. All hail Shannon. All hail
Shannon.
No!
All hail
Shannon.
Become a meme now.
Hail Shannon. Hail Shannon.
Right. And finally, as well, a bit of a late addition, decided that after, all of this was being prepared and everything had been squared away and I was ready to go and, get everybody
Because
sorted.
9 people is a nice number.
And 9 people is a nice number, nicely divisible by 3, though I probably would divide him as well for how much torment he decided to put me through in this last bit. Regardless, our lead animator and rigger, please welcome NV.
What's up? I'm MV. All I really do is just make ponies look cute and also do cool things on a screen. And I also make sure that the other people, like Shannon and Age 3 ARCM, pick the right poses to make, the characters look good and make them look cool. Simple as that. All right. Cool.
You like making things look cool?
Yes.
Best job.
I mean, so does Al. That's like his motivation for a lot of things.
There's a lot of things
Pretty
that
much.
Al likes to make, that's for sure. There's a lot of things.
Oh yeah, I'm also the resident meme lord in your server. All right, take that.
You're the reason why
Oh,
Cakewalk
lords.
became a meme.
Yes, and I'm disappointed in myself for it, but I've long moved past that.
Dear Lord. Well, as you can hear, we have a wide selection of people tonight, and I'll just do a quick introduction for myself as well. Hello, I am Mr. G, as you've probably already gotten bored of hearing. I am one of the audio engineers, but I will not be answering any questions related to audio engineering tonight. Instead, I will be assisting in getting your guys' questions over to these wonderful people here. A reminder for anyone who is currently in the stream right now, but would like to ask a question, we are only going to be taking questions if you are in the EoJ fan Discord. There's a link in the description of this live stream. If you go to that link, you should get the invitation and you should be able to join. Just need to click a yes to the agreements rules and you will see a channel where everybody is waiting. And there you can ask your question.
It's not in the description.
Yeah, it would be great if Al would add it to the description real quick.
That would be helpful.
I
Is it not-
put it in the description just now.
It's
It's not in there still? Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Oh my God.
Let me take care of that. If you want
Thanks,
to
you two.
directly ask a question to the team,
Why?
please join the EoJ fan Discord server.
I
Okay,
gave
one
you
other
one
thing,
roll.
because there's a
One
second
roll.
step to this. To
Shit,
actually get
rolling.
access to the voice chats that we have people waiting in, you'll have to go to the events announcement.
No. That's
You fixed that?
they changed that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no splitting people up. If you are a full-fledged new member of this server, you will be able to ask a question. I have made sure that there isn't any any discrimination for non-event people, all your fault, I would point out as well, Katie, for that reason. Regardless, I've got a few questions from some people who were unable to attend live, and we'll start with those. And after we have finished with those questions, we will then move into some people who are currently waiting, and we have quite a fair amount of people waiting right now. I see about 17 or so, so we've got a lot of people, probably a lot of questions. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm now going to ask the first question. The first question came from Jam5022. I'm not sure if there's a maths joke in there that I'm missing, but we've got the first question is actually a joke question for Al Javis, apparently. So, what were you thinking when you made your goal to finish Case 2 by the end of the year, apparently?
Oh, I do not know. Because I thought, all right, I thought that we would somehow at this point get a workflow established, but we didn't.
Yeah, that was a nice lie.
And plus, like, we're still very to make the joking question taken a little bit more seriously. Like, we're still pretty understaffed. We got way too much work to do. There's just so much to do, and we would like the biggest thing that we really need are animators / riggers. We did just hire a guy. He goes by the name Eon. But he still needs to go through some training, and it'll be a while till we get there. But, you know, like, just know that even if there's only 40 people, I say only 40 people, it's 40 people is a lot, but it's a lot for this project. Just letting you guys know.
It is certainly a lot of people, a lot of wonderful people, I would also like to add. But interestingly enough, you mentioned the animation aspect, because his second question, as he calls it, a real question as well, have any of the animators, and I'm going to immediately look at you over here, MV, have any of the animators thought about doing a live stream to show how the episodes and pony rigs are made in Adobe Animate?
Ooh.
To answer that, I have never thought of that at all throughout the entirety of me working on this project, and I have no idea that any other animators in this project has actually thought of the same thing. Will that ever happen? Probably not. I got no clue. But if for some weird reason I end up showing off myself making a pony rig for EoJ specifically, I might have that on my channel put up. Don't count on it because I don't upload there much at all. But if there is, hey, you should expect it. Don't be surprised.
I look forward to that. It's quite an interesting process, wouldn't you agree?
I would agree with that. Both interesting while also incredibly painful on all fronts. But
Most things
hey, it works. It works. It's cool. It's intuitive, I guess. So sure.
We don't need to worry anybody about the pain we go through because we talk about it constantly. That's for sure. Well,
for sure.
Well, that's the first person with their questions out of the way. The next set of questions comes from DopPio. Apologies if I butcher that name. The first question being, hey EoJ staff, I've been really liking EoJ so far. The production quality is nothing short of amazing. My question is about the process of how you go about writing the cases for EoJ, and if you have any tips for writing mysteries. This one I'm going to fire off to Serenity and Jarvi. Serenity, if you'd like to start.
So, I'm pretty sure this is the guy I had a conversation with yesterday in regards to how we write the cases. Short answer, there's no uniform method for how we write them. I mean, if we're just talking about specifically our writing process, we'll draft up a roadmap for each episode. Usually a rough one and then a more detailed one. And then we'll use that detailed roadmap to write a full script by one or two of us working together. And then we'll hand it off to the others to proofread and edit and add extra details, remove some stuff that doesn't need to be there until we finally decide, all right, this is good enough, publish it, send it off to the voice actors and video editors. But in terms of just writing mysteries in general, I mean, my best advice would be one, consume a bunch of mystery-related media. I've been obsessed with mystery stories ever since I was a kid. Literally, I grew up with them. I've remained in the mystery genre pretty much my entire life. But in addition to that, I mean, research Ronald Knox's 10 Commandments on mystery stories. Those are pretty helpful. And as for Ace Attorney specifically, case construction, the way I do it is I usually come up with a setting for a case first, just so that I know the general what kind of area I'm working with, or what kind of characters I can expect to show up there, and then work from that point. What kind of crime do I want to write about? What kind of interpersonal dilemma do I want to have between the characters? Stuff like that. Usually, I just start with the setting and work from there. Anything more detailed, I can't really discuss without it going on for hours, and I know we can't do that here. So
no,
I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it with that.
That's wonderful, Jarvi. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just sort of picking up any other points you've heard there, because that's quite a good detailed amount of information from Serenity.
So, the process, it's pretty definitive, but it's also an evolving process. So what I mean by that is that as we continue to write more and as we continue to encounter problems with the writing process, we tend to change things up either in terms of structuring who gets to do what, or how we want to discuss preamble and preemptive stuff before we actually jump into writing it. So yes, we do have the roadmap, and yes, we do end up writing the scripts. But while in general we all have a pretty good idea of where we want to go with the particular story, that doesn't mean that we are necessarily married to the ideas there. Sometimes in just further discussion, we'll end up changing a few things here and there, or even a lot of things, and then it becomes more of an evolved and involved process in terms of just writing and creation. I can't give too much advice that Serenity hasn't already given about the mystery writing in general, but if I were to give advice about writing in general, and for people who are interested in writing, to kind of jump off of what Serenity said, you do have to consume a whole lot of written or at least storytelling media. This is a little traditional, for lack of a better term, but I say if you're going to start anywhere, start with books, start with stories. Playing video games and watching shows is perfectly fine and valid, because today the media and the landscape of storytelling is far more complicated and filled with a lot more interesting mediums and things that you can tell. However, the classics, which are essentially the stories and the books that we had, like Sherlock Holmes and Edgar Allan Poe and that kind of stuff, they still have a lot that you can learn from. So read a lot, thus, consequently consume a whole lot of the media. Second thing that I would advise is to just write a lot. It's going to be crap at first. All first drafts are, and you're probably going to face a bit of an uphill battle when it comes to just starting out. But the only way you really learn is by actually practicing the thing that you want to learn. And that generally would be, the two main rules, if you want to call them rules, for writing anything at that point.
And also have somebody to tell you that your stuff sucks and why it sucks. That'll be very helpful.
That is 2.5 rules, yes.
It sounds like you guys definitely know how to pull pieces of literature apart, and I hate the fact that I hate to say this, but it's annoying when you say get good at writing by reading books, because that's not always going to be one of my
That's the only method that really works at this point.
I mean, it's the tried and true tested method for improving your own writing is consuming other people's writing.
Oh, it's just you can tell we have capable people. You can tell we have capable people just by listening to Jarvi and Serenity, and be glad that I'm not someone who decided I could pick up a pen and write myself. Well, hopefully that answers that question. We're now going to get started with one of our actual participants in the Discord right now. So here comes our first questionee, I should say.
Hello.
Grumpy Entity. Apologies, I'm going to butcher your name. Hello, welcome. What is your first question, if I may ask?
Right, so it's not exactly a question. It's more something that I want to be there to be in the episodes. So when this might be nitpicking, but something I want is when evidence is presented, it shows you going onto the court record, then going through the evidences, and then finding the correct one, and then presenting it. And when you have to pinpoint a specific point on the map, a finger appears in the middle that then goes to the place before the...
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
If I may interject real quick.
Yep. Go ahead, Patrick. This is obviously a video editing side thing.
Yeah, this is definitely like a video editing sort of thing. In order to try to include something like that, which honestly it would be great if we could, it's probably something that we won't include because of the amount of work it will require. Not just from a video editing standpoint. But from asset design to animation design, I guess, in a way.
Can I add on to that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
For only two things to add, which will be very quick. One, that is probably going to be too much for our editing / animation program to even handle. Adobe Animate CC 2020.
Thank you, Adobe Animate.
Yes, thank you. And two, this is a video series, not a video game. So that's a bit too gamey. It feels more like a video game than an actual, video series. All right, but keep going, Patrick.
No, MV kind of just said it right on the money, because another reason why we wouldn't really do something like that is because it's really it's not really something that would fit in a video series. It's more so like a video game mechanic than something that can really be shown in a video project, so to say.
Like it would add to the experience for making it act like a video game. But considering it's a video series, like it's kind of not needed.
Our goal isn't to emulate the video games like 1-to-1. We're trying to make a video series that looks like a video series, not like a video game.
At the end of the day, it's an audio-visual drama production, not a video game production. Mechanics aside, the medium is inherently going to have certain constraints that can't be stretched to other mediums. And that kind of operates vice versa.
I'll probably wrap up the sort of answering for there. Do you have a second question you'd like to ask at all, or has that given you the answer you're looking for?
Not at the moment. Yeah, thanks. I just would like it if we had that, but if it's impossible, then fine.
No worries. Well, thank you very much for your question.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was the first question, so we'll now move on to the next questionee. Hello, awesome platinum Aiden. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So, what's your question?
Yes. It's an Ace Attorney question, so...
You've come to the right place then, thankfully. This isn't the Spider-Man convention, thankfully.
Out of all the games, including Investigations 1 and 2, The Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2, and Clayton versus is your most favorite and most hated case, but here's a twist. You're not allowed to say Turnabout Big Top or Farewell My Turnabout.
Farewell.
All right.
Well, farewell.
That's an interesting question. Right. So, just in case people didn't hear, so what is your favorite Ace Attorney case? Was it? Sorry. And you cannot choose Turnabout Cake Top or Turnabout
Cake
Goodbye.
Cake Top.
Favorite and
Cakewalk is in your mind right now.
Cakewalk is in my mind. You were just reading my
was favorite and least favorite, and you can't choose Big Top or Farewell My
can't
Turnabout.
say Farewell My Turnabout or Big Top.
All right. Well, I'm going to pass that question off to, since we haven't heard from... Let's go with you first, Shannon, because we haven't heard from you that much thus far. So, do you want to tell us? Have you... First things first, I should know this. You have played the Ace Attorney, aren't you? You're not like a certain other VA that has had some difficulty playing the games.
It is our main VA.
Watching Let's Play count?
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll accept it.
Okay, I have.
If you know what happens, it counts.
Except for the Grace Ace Attorney 2. I haven't seen that one yet.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So luckily, my least favorite case is not Big Top. So the conditions do not apply. Anyways, favorite case is the third case of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Because that case was so good.
Much respect.
That was a good one.
And then least favorite, I'm gonna have to say fourth case of Spirit of Justice.
That one.
Pretty sure you're not like my sister or something, Shannon, because those are exactly what I was going to say about that.
I am not.
That case, that case literally is part of the reason why Athena is getting a lot of spotlight for. She's the lead for case 2. We want to give her character justice
because Spirit of Justice didn't give it to her.
Well, there's some important information there as well. There's some inspiration, we should say. And let's see, who else? Anybody else would like to take this question as well? Anyone got any strong opinions?
I mean,
I would like to.
Okay, MV then Jarvie.
Sure.
Okay. Least favorite case. No, it's not Big Top, but my actual least favorite case, at least from memory, is Turnabout Ablaze from Ace Attorney Investigations 1. Boring, repetitive pile of shit is all I can say to that.
And now for my third evidence, the fireplace.
Yes. Now stop talking, Patrick. And my favorite case. My favorite case from the games, right? It's actually 2 because I can never pick either. So one of them is Bridge to the Turnabout from Trials and Tribulations, and the Grand Turnabout from Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Both are pod cases. Please play those games, I beg of you.
Man, Bridge was a perfect ending to the trilogy, man.
Yes, it is.
Agreed.
Made me feel things.
And Jarvie?
So I haven't played all the Ace Attorney games, I will admit, but I've played, a fair amount. My favorite is probably the third case from the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. My understanding is that third cases in Ace Attorney games tend to be interesting. But that one I seriously enjoyed. It felt very tight and it was a very good story. Least favorite, probably the first case from the second game, because I could not understand the logic of the prosecution at the very beginning and how it just it didn't make sense to me that they could come to that conclusion given what was said. But yeah, I didn't like that case. I kind of I kind of went in blind, and then I just, out of spite, used the walkthrough so I could get it out of the way.
Smashing. Well, hope that answers your question. Do you have another question you'd like to ask as well?
Not really. Would you guys like to know mine?
Sure. Go ahead. Why not?
All right. I have to say my favorite has to be the one with Athena in Dual Destiny.
I think you got cut off by Discord.
You cut off.
Sorry, that guy can definitely get up to his mischief sometimes with his chaos magic.
Yeah, it was just. Hello?
Yeah, we can still hear you.
We can hear you.
All right, you heard my answer, yeah?
Do you hear the title of the case? No.
Turnabout Academy from Dual Destinies.
Huh.
Yeah, I like that case a lot as well myself.
I loved it mainly because of the characters. Just a lot of strong emotions there.
Serenity would have some choice words with you.
Let's see here. Least favorite, I'd have to give it to Turnabout Storyteller, the one with Athena in Spirit of Justice.
I feel that case is a little bit too overhated, but
it deserves the hate because one, it wastes both Athena and Blackquill, because Blackquill was good in that case. That's the only good thing. And another thing, they wasted Athena's new remixed theme. It sounds awesome in Spirit of Justice.
Oh, it's my favorite of Death Team personally.
I know. And
the only
her
good thing about the
theme
case I understand is that Blackquill hit Nayuta, so
I mean, I think the only thing that I like about that case is the witness. I forget the name.
The multi-personality man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you very much for your question and as well as for your opinions. I'm glad to hear that, hopefully we can give Athena a good showing in this one as well. So hope this.
Yeah, you
hope
guys are doing a great job with her.
I'm glad to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you've been liking her so far. Makes me feel good.
All right. Well, have a nice day, you guys.
Thank you for asking
Thanks,
your
you
question.
too.
Have a good day.
Right, we're going to now go to a quick question from someone who currently is unable to ask theirs live. So the question, sorry, I just need to quickly find it. Okay, the first question from Stev Free Electro, assuming that means to Steve Electro. How many turnabouts do you intend on doing? Is the first question, and this should probably go to Serenity and Al.
Or Al,
Serenity.
Well, the answer is 5.
5.
In case, if you don't know the names of them already, it's Turnabout Theater's the first one.
You can
Crusading
find
for
them on
Turnabout.
the
Turnabout Dish.
Tropes page.
You can find on
Here.
TV.
It's all in
I
there.
can say them all right now.
All right, say them all right now.
All right. Turnabout Theater, Crusading for a Turnabout, Turnabout Discharge, a Turnabout for Brotherhood, and the Turnabouts of Friendship. That's the 5 cases.
And if you want more confirmation on where it's going to be taking place, look at the trailer, and you'll see where they're going to be at.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping for anyway.
Right. Second question is an interesting one. I suppose after our little ending scene of episode 2 of case 2, there is a question regarding a potential shipping. Will there be some Fluttercord in the future?
No.
How did that come out of?
I'm going to leave this one to
ending scene of?
I was expecting Athena and Twilight.
Yeah, I was expecting Athena and Twilight.
I was expecting
Oh, yes, no.
I'm going to
I
leave
am
this
not
one
familiar with the shipping.
I literally made a
business
drawing of.
Fluttercord.
Granted, it was a commission, but it's a great commission.
To answer the question, though, Discord's not going to show up in this series, so I guess the answer to the question is no.
No.
very simple. Very, very,
Mainly
very simple.
because if he shows up, then no
over.
cases will get solved.
Yeah.
Yeah, he destroys any foundation of how we need to write these cases because he can just do anything.
Basically, the say it best is an illogical person can't show up in a logical sort of series.
Yes.
This
Someone
is
whose magic literally lets him do absolutely anything.
We'll make a quick joke here. It will give the logic mechanic from investigations a literal aneurysm if you even try it.
Unfortunately, it is true. As much as I wish to see it, at least we have a substitute now. Right. Let's get on with the next question. Next question is going to be a live one. Welcome. Hello, Yellow Bacon. What is your first question?
Oh, hello.
Hey, Bacon.
What's the process of choosing your music in EoJ?
Oh boy, here we go.
Lovely question.
I like that music question.
Oh,
Holy
Jarvie,
shit.
we'll get this
I
to you.
guess I can answer it, but
We'll send it to Jarvie
Basically,
first and then add.
like
we'll
James
answer
and
after.
Salmon would generally go.
Jarvie answer first.
Yeah, we'll let Jarvie answer first, Jarl, and then we'll get to
And
you.
then we'll go to
shortly.
you.
So,
Yeah, that's good by me.
So in terms of choosing music, James and I do a little bit of just kind of investigating, some of the beta tracks or some of the actual official tracks. Because James has outside experience beyond the Ace Attorney games, he's also able to find music from other games, other shows, that kind of stuff that fits with a particular scene or a particular moment that we want to convey. This is especially really good for the fact that we're both writers, so we know what we're writing and we know what we want to have and what we want to see. So consequently, we also know what we want to hear. In terms of, I'm going to extend the question to how do we figure out what music we want to make? It really depends on, the character or the moment themselves. So it's basically a similar answer. At least for me, it comes down to, okay, I know how we wrote this character and I know how this character sounds. What is the overall story that I want to convey in, a minute, 2 minute long kind of response or story track, essentially. So I tried to tell essentially, a little bit of a story with the beginning, movement here and there, move into the heart of the song that kind of gets into the core of the character or the particular scene, and then I move out of that moment or that scene by the end, and then I try to have it loop if I need to have it loop, or otherwise I just kind of let the song come to where it needs to end. It's not too complicated. James is definitely very good. I'm plugging my boy James here. He is very good at finding really good tracks from across a variety of sources that we can use. Although otherwise, we'll also start making our own custom music.
Yeah, James is very good at that.
Smashing. And Joel, if you just want to come in with yours.
That's exciting.
All right. Yeah. It pretty much Darby said most of what I was gonna say, but I would say that it doesn't happen super often, but occasionally, like someone on the team that's not Darby or James or Sam will think of a song that will fit a moment, and then we'll decide to use that song. So, like, I actually was the one who suggested using The Great Stray for that one moment in 2-2, for example. You know them.
No, you're talking about the moment when Turning gets arrested in 2-2, right?
Yep.
Right.
There's a lot of good music suggestions. Actually, quickly, because now we've actually kind of mentioned it, Patrick, you had something regarding music suggestions as well?
I did, yes. A lot of people, you know, we've mentioned James, Joel, and some people. There's also, you know, the writers, as well as some maybe even video editors like myself that also make music suggestions, talk about, you know, what would fit here and there. So I feel like it's like a collaborative effort for the most part, but a lot of the music that gets chosen is either found by James or is suggested by a writer or sound man, basically.
Or otherwise, it's composed if we really do need to make that kind of leap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pat. Go ahead. My bad. I'm cutting you off way too much. Keep going.
And yeah, it's if we can't find like a music track that fits for the most part, we would just compose our own. Or if we, you know, try to compose our own, but it doesn't work out, I believe we just stick with a different track that already exists.
Brilliant. Okay. Yellow, do you have a second question you'd like to ask?
Yeah. How long does it take? How difficult is it to make your character designs?
Oh, I think there's
all right.
several people.
Yeah. I want to be in on this question.
We'll get you to that. First of all, let's send it to
me and Serenity can answer that. Yeah,
we'll send it to the first and I think most relevant party as well. MV as well. I want to quickly mention the creation aspect of maybe the character pose, and then we'll go to Serenity and Al for the other stuff as well.
To be honest, I can't really say too much on that because all I really do is just, all I really do is just ask them, "Ayo, if you designed your character, can you give me a full turnaround of them so that I can ponify them and put them into the MLP style, all right, to make them look good in the MLP style?" I don't really have much part in that creation aspect other than that. So, yeah, moving on to the rest of them.
Serenity?
Okay, so designing a character, it can either take us an hour or two, or it could take us a few days.
Yeah.
So using characters from Case 2 as an example, Turning Page, I believe, he was a character whose design we figured out pretty quickly. His main style, we know we wanted it to be resembling a Royal Guard helmet. And we know he needed to carry a wooden sword that was cracked. And, figuring out his color scheme, we wanted him to sort of be... What was it? We wanted him to have light colors like his mom, but also dark colors like his father.
Here. I can explain this. All right, so... I love color, okay? I like color palettes is and the symbolism behind it is a big thing for me. So if you look at the family of Royal Order, Fair Devotion, and Turning Page, you see Royal Order has very dark, cool colors, and Fair Devotion has bright, warm colors. returning page, he has cool colors, but they're bright. Kind of like a mix of like those two like themes that the parents have, which will also reflect his character. So that's another aspect of character design that I think about. I can't just give him a random color. Like, that color has to be there for a reason.
Yeah, we put a lot of thought into every aspect of a character's design. Like, literally taking apart their entire character in order to figure out what they would present themselves as.
Yeah.
And now, going from a character who we had relative ease in designing to a character that was a little nightmare for us to design.
Oh my god!
Equity.
Lawkeeper Equity.
Yeah. Who? How many days? How many days did it take us to design her?
It took like half the team to figure her out.
Lawkeeper Equity? Don't you mean Sonata?
No, shush. We're not doing that joke here.
We're not doing that joke.
We're not doing that joke.
Serious.
Shut up.
Oh, I feel it's important.
But anyway, okay. I don't even remember what the first part of her design that was we came up with, because I think we changed them.
We changed it up because Cadet, our Applejack and Sonata VA, she mentioned that our initial design looked like Elsa from Frozen, and we're like, oh no, we gotta start over.
Yeah,
we wanted
Jane.
An easy mistake to make, obviously. When you're creating a character for equity, the first thing you jump to is Elsa.
I think the voice
I remember
call
her.
that we had. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember Julius was actually the one who first came up with some designs for her. Like, we asked
it was him who did it.
Probably like, I don't know, maybe like 9 or 10 months ago now, and we were like, hey, can you come up with some designs? Like, what is she's based on like a Roman praetor, right? Is that?
Yes.
I don't even know how to say it, but yes, I probably said it wrong. But yeah, she's based on a Roman praetor. So we asked we asked Julius to draw up some sketches of various hairstyles and various kind of armor that she'd be wearing. And we sifted through those and picked some out. And as Aljavis was designing her, Cadet comes in and he's like, why are you guys drawing Elsa from Frozen?
Fucking
one look at her, we were unable to unsee it. We couldn't, so we had to completely scrap the design and like just do a new one because we did not want it. We did not want that.
I was in the call that night. I was fucking crying from laughter.
Somebody needs to make that as a meme. Someone needs to make that as a meme. So,
That's not even getting into our color scheme, which was another nightmare to figure out.
That took us, I think, 6 hours and half of our sanity.
Yep.
Just half.
What's half of zero, though? What's half of zero?
Lol.
Right. Yellow. I hope that's answered your question, but thank you very much for asking them.
Yeah, thank you too.
No worries. Right. Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, have a good day.
Bye.
All right. Well, this next question is going to start with Viola and also Katie, because I feel like we haven't heard a lot. So let's get started. So first, the first question from Stubby is, what is the most fulfilling aspect of working on EoJ? So Viola and then Katie.
I think the most fulfilling part of working on EoJ is seeing everyone's reaction to the episodes once they come out, because it's really nice to see people, get amazed by the art and the voice acting and the story and all that, and to feel all this hard work is really paid off, It
is amazing. I mean, we have our little pre-streams and post-streams, which I'm sure a lot of people are there. Although they can be quite an interesting experience, but more so, I suppose, a background artist perspective. What would you say is what would you say you aim to achieve, or what do you like the most about being a background artist, being the lead one, especially?
What I like most about being a background artist is just making all these locations that people are familiar with, just bringing them to life in this project. I also like to see all the different art styles of all the different VAs. Mine is more show accurate, while others have more original art designs, but seeing them all together in the final product, it's really nice.
It is. I mean, so the artwork is tremendous, just like every other aspect of this, and bringing things to life as well. Katie, you can sort of attest to bringing things to life, can't you? As well as with your characters of Sugar Stamp and Fair Devotion. Like, what is fulfilling about being the voice of arguably a very stressed out mum and simultaneously a sort of sugar junkie, almost on rivalry with Pinkie Pie?
Junkie.
So I will say the most fulfilling part for me is actually seeing the character come to life. Because when I first joined, kind of all that, at least what was public to the team about Sugar Stamp and Fair Devotion, was a name and 3 like VA test lines, and that was it. So I got to actually see the process of, I think I was there for both Sugar Stamp and Fair Devotion's designing like process. I've definitely been like listening to how some, like watching the rigs come to life, watching the music come to life, watching all of that, and then being able to add my voice to that, and then watching the final product of these characters that I've seen come to life by the efforts of so many people, and then knowing that I was a part of like bringing that character to life on the screen, I think was the most fulfilling part for me.
It's great working as well. I suppose quickly as well to add in Joel here, working with the VAs to bring characters to life is a great aspect that you would probably argue is one of the most fulfilling, or at least I would.
Oh,
anyway.
absolutely.
Totally. Like I definitely like my favorite part of working on this project is like waiting for all the wonderful VAs we have to send in their takes and for me to listen to them and like pick the ones that you guys will end up loving in the episodes.
It's fun, isn't it? It's great fun.
Yeah, I felt really validated that a lot of you, our fans, really like the way I decided to portray Athena in the episode with the lines I picked. Of course, all credit for all those wonderful lines in the first place go to Adox.
Was definitely going to say. Okay, so it's a symbiotic relationship, one without the. I wouldn't imagine, either of us doing a good job of trying to voice Athena or Sugar Stamp in our respective situations. It would be an interesting audio drama, to say the least. Right, we're now going to get the next live question in, so let's bring them in. Hello, Kitty Girl. Thank you for joining us,
Kitty Girl.
Hello.
What's your first question?
Hey, my first question is, what advice do you have for first-time directors? This is mostly for Al Javis and Serenity. For example, like keeping things organized among different people, keeping people engaged to continue working on the project.
Okay. Brilliant. That's a lovely question. Al, would you like to start?
Thank you. I'm very interested in doing my own project someday as a director. And
well, I will say, don't expect it to be easy, because when I first got the team together, I was scared. Like when I initially brought this team together, I initially thought like we're just gonna say, do the thing, do that thing, and they'll do it, and that's it. But here's a little story actually. Our former Twilight VA, Webcake, one day she just said like to the team in the Discord server, she's like, "Hey, you guys want to get into a call?" And we're like, "Sure." We talked for a bit, and it boosted our morale quite a bit. So I'm like, maybe we should get into more calls. Maybe I'll be friends with the team. And that's my first advice. Get to know your team beyond what your project is. Because at that point, you're not just working on this project because you want to see this project get done. You actually want to do it because like you want to support each other. You are now friends with each other. Like, and as for the directing part, it is quite a balance to keep people in check, making sure they're doing their roles, but try not to have them overwhelmed, because at the end of the day, this is a passion project. We're not getting paid at all. As much as I wish copyright laws were different and we can actually get paid to do this, we can't. So it's purely out of passion, and we got to make sure that passion is still there, because once that passion is gone, then there is no project. And like I said, the voice calls is what helps us keep that passion. And getting things done, seeing any progress at all, will help out a lot, because it kind of like gets that excitement. Like when you see nothing get done, then no one is motivated to get anything done. But once you see something get done, they'll be like, oh my God, maybe I should work on this thing now. And then you see the pieces come together. Like literally, that motivation to put the pieces together is going to help out a lot.
It's remarkable that you mentioned, though, sorry, Al, that you don't like putting pressure on the team, of course. The 2-week schedule is a lovely relaxing time frame, obviously. Between episode 1 and 2. Just conscious as well of the time. Serenity, do you want to just quickly jump in as well with any additional thoughts?
I mean, Aljavis said mostly anything that I would say. The only thing I would add is, as director, don't get married to your own ideas for your project. Like, obviously you need to lay the groundwork for what your project is about, but let other people pitch in their own ideas. Amend yours, or maybe completely abandon some concept that you have in favor of one that's better. Because I can tell you right now, what Elements of Justice is at the moment is not like what Aljavis put together by himself. Like his original concepts for Case 2 have gone through so much rewriting now that he's like actually, have other writers on the project and other people to do character design and music, and everyone pitches in like their own ideas to the director's like foundation, and it makes the project better because we're getting so many other people's perspective. They see something that you don't, and by allowing all those ideas to flourish together, I feel like it will create a more well-rounded final product. So my best advice is just don't be strict with your proposal. Let other people give their own ideas and inputs.
That is part of the reason. Yeah, that is part of the reason why. I'm sorry. What was that, Jarvie?
I was just asking if I could add some real quick words of advice if they haven't already been said. If that's all right with Mr. G, though.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I agree with Serenity and I agree with Al. Part of it is it's very democratic, liberal, accept all opinions, have this be more of an open discussion. However, as a director, your position inherently comes with its own set of responsibilities and its own set of weights. So while it is definitely important to be open to amending and revising and changing where the project needs to be amended and revised, I don't think you should feel afraid to have your own opinion or stand by something that you believe in. That's not exactly quite a piece of advice I'd give to a director, more of just advice I'd give to anybody who's leading any kind of project. It is important to accept all opinions, but you also have to accept your own opinions too. And they're perfectly valid even against other opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I am still the director. I do have the final say, but of course, I want to listen to everyone else for their opinions, and I'll talk about my own opinions. Like, what are my thoughts on it? Maybe my opinion would change once I hear everyone else's, or maybe my thoughts would not change throughout the entire conversation.
Or better yet, maybe the director's original idea and someone else's proposed idea, maybe both can change into combining both of them and creating something better from that.
Yeah, that can also work too. Most of the time, like when we talk about ideas, we usually blend them together. But yeah, that's TLDR for being a director. Don't be afraid to order people around, but of course, like, make sure that you're not pushing too hard. Get to know your team, and make sure everyone's opinion is heard, even yourselves.
Some wonderful
thank
advice there,
you.
I'd say. No, any other questions, Kitty? Sorry.
Yes. We all know about the infamous cakewalk moment from episode 1. So, for everyone, what's your other anyone else have any favorite cakewalk moments?
Oh no!
I am leaving. I'm leaving.
No,
leaving.
no,
Pat,
you are staying.
Nope.
Hold on, everyone.
You'll never take me alive.
Hold on,
You'll
everyone.
never take me alive.
What's the button to lock the Discord chat?
Before we crash Discord and before Patrick makes his great escape, so to speak, I feel like it would be a prudent thing to mention that there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of moments thus far which could class as a cakewalk, some minor, some major. So, for simplicity's sake, we'll do Patrick, and also do.
Well, let's say if he's back first.
We'll go with Pat first, and then we'll do Joel, I think, because we could be here all evening.
Patrick.
Actually, sorry, no, we'll have Patrick and Shannon, actually, because I'm sure there's quite a few in there.
No.
So, Patrick, would you mind, expanding upon a particular instance that I think we're all looking towards?
Come on, Pat.
You won't be able to escape it.
There you
Can I plead the fifth?
No.
No.
Just say it already. Get it over with.
No. Pat.
Get on with it.
If you plead the fifth, I will go up and hit you with a newspaper repeatedly until you say it.
Yeah, she's in the same house as you, dude.
I mean, I'd argue just hit him with a newspaper anyway, but you know what? Just you know.
So, section 404.
You said it. Get it going.
Would you mind explaining for people who may not be acutely aware?
No, I refuse to explain.
All right, then I will explain for you.
Yeah, I think Serenity should explain it then in that case.
Because I know I was there for it, and I know LJ was there for it. How many of us were there for it? Because
I have only heard rumors and saw his misery firsthand, but with no context.
It spanned like 3 different days, so I know some of us were probably there for at least part of it.
Let's go with.
But anyway,
let's assume that most people weren't there.
This was during the production of episode 3 of Case 1. When we were making the episodes in terms of video editing, they're divided up into various sections based on what scene we're working on. So, section 4 of scene 4 was. I don't remember exactly what part of the episode it was. It's like
it's best to know that. It's best to don't know that because we just want to repress that.
Whatever. It was some part of the video. But the important thing is that Patrick wanted to get it done because we had set a deadline that we would finish the episode by the weekend and premiere it then. So he wanted to get that entire section done by like 3 a.m. or something. Well, I don't know if he wanted to get it done by then, but he worked well into 3 a.m. to get it done quickly. That was a mistake because when we reviewed the episode following morning, or rather the following afternoon, it was littered with errors. So many errors. The background had shrunk. The character rigs broke. The voice lines weren't placed correctly. I think there were
typing offends me.
There was literally. It was. I don't know how it got processed past Patrick. Even at 3 a.m. when he was sleep deprived, how did you miss all of that? You literally could. The only explanation is that you were literally sleep editing.
I do not know to this day.
I think it's best.
Anyway, it took us like about 2 days to fix all that up, and we were up all hours of the night trying to do it.
Right.
And and the team keeps that against me ever since it happened, as well as a whole bunch of.
Is there a reason why we shouldn't?
Yeah, I was going to say you don't exactly assist in that venture, Pat, with certain intellectual discoveries such as is oil and milk.
You gotta remind me also. Yeah, you're the person who drank oil thinking it was milk.
I will say there is one major difference between Cakewalk and Scene 404. Scene 404 was fixed before it could see the light. Cakewalk made it to the light.
Yes.
All right.
If we're talking about Cakewalk moments that actually made it into the episode, then yeah, what's everyone's answer for that?
That's very few.
Guard 3 disappearing.
There's Guard 3.
Yeah, Guard 3
Let me answer mine real quick.
Guard 3 not showing up. The guard from the detention center disappearing in the flashback.
But if you close your eyes, do you know what's the worst part? I can explain that as well.
Well, I think for simplicity's sake, we won't go too much in detail because there are a few more questions that we get.
Fair.
Let's just say that production is never as smooth as people make it out to be.
No, it's not. It never is. Yeah. Don't believe any of that shit.
Even if you are someone who functions on oil, such as Pat, you do make the occasional.
I'm going to hurt you.
Right. All jokes aside, we've had quite a few things there. So, Shannon, do you have any quick ones you want to fly in there, or should we get on to the next question?
Yeah, next question.
Next question, please.
Next question. All right. So, Kitty,
you have a pleasantful rest of the stream.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kitty. All right, we're now moving into the next live question. Hello there, Karma Grass. What's your question?
Hey,
Hello.
Hello. What's your question?
All right, so I have two questions. So the first one is the most important one. The first one is so what's his name? The defendant. What's his name?
Turning Page.
There's a couple.
Turning Page. What gave y'all the idea of giving him his just desserts and making him a defendant?
Ooh.
Giving him his just desserts.
I will. I'll hand this one off to. I'll hand this one off to Serenity and Jarvie if there is really an answer to this one. Serenity.
Well, I think it was me who suggested that Turning Page be one of the defendants, because this case was written originally with multiple defendants in mind. So we decided to make them Scootaloo and Turning Page. As for why, mostly because of the connection to Athena. You know, Turning's being accused of killing his own father, just like Athena was accused of killing her own mother. So there's that sort of parallel that we were kind of going for.
Pretty much.
But yeah, that's pretty much the main reason.
Fair enough. Jarvie, anything you want to add, or does that mostly cover it?
I think it makes for a compelling narrative. And I think if you have a way to make the narrative, increase the stakes of it, make it more compelling, make it more dramatic, while not sacrificing anything in the slightest, I think you should definitely go for it. So I think, the decision.
I think it makes it funny.
And makes it, a very fun. I say fun in a very loose sense. It's not fun for Turning Page.
Because I truly believe Turning Page did it.
Theories are theories. But
if it makes an interesting, compelling narrative reason, we have all the more reason to put it in. Most justifications for narrative decisions come down to, do we think this can work?
Yes.
Right. Karma, do you have another question you'd like to ask as well?
Yeah. This is not a question directly addressing EoJ, but a general question about writing. So how do y'all go about? You see, there's magic users. how do you go about magic users when you're writing to make them not seem
like that's overpowered or something?
Yeah, like what? Oh, I could just use my magic to see these hoof prints that weren't there before.
That's a good question. Good question. Well,
That
I
is a
suppose
good question.
Really, the only ones that can really answer this again are Jarvi and Serenity. But Al, if you would like to start off as well.
Because I run into this problem all the time.
Al started this project, obviously, so it'd be a good idea to see how he combated this originally. So, Al, if you want to start.
Well, granted, I wasn't the best at finding things about
solutions,
like finding solutions about like trying to get around the magic and whatever. I literally just think about what kind of magic did they have in the show and what were their limitations. And that was basically that's basically what I did. And of course, like the limitations are are a lot broader later on in the seasons, but this is between season 4 and 5, so I can just do that. But I was pretty much stuck when I couldn't figure something out, and I think I can segue to this to Serenity and Jarvi.
Even the show runs into this problem. There's that one episode where Twilight's running from the Hydra and she could just teleport across the chasm.
Yeah, it's inconsistent.
Well, for us, I mean, in terms of what magic can a pony use and what can't they use. First of all, if it's a spell that wasn't in the show, then unless we need it to exist, we don't have to say that it does. So, I mean, in terms of forensic-related spells, I mean, if there's something that we need them to be able to use, then we'll give it to them. But otherwise, we could just say there's no spell for that. So, I mean, not like there's anything else to prove otherwise.
If there's a spell for that, then you run into problems.
Well, I mean, if there's a spell for it, then we would have to write around it. But so far, we've not had to encounter that problem.
Yeah,
So far,
even with the wings thing, that also becomes a problem.
What wings thing?
Magic users, and then there's people with wings.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pegasi can fly and manipulate the weather. So that's, I mean, I don't really see how that would.
It sounds like there is a question here regarding how one implements a difference in hard magic theory and soft magic theory, to borrow a term from, I guess, genre writing.
I mean, yeah.
My understanding of MLP is that the magic is far softer than it is hard. It's not hard fantasy magic, but it still contains some elements of logic at points and systems and laws at others, and then also, dismisses those laws when it needs them to happen. I guess if you were looking for advice for managing that, consistency is more important than this looks cool, I want the character to do this. I don't particularly pertain to the idea of having to make laws and systems for every magical system, but having some at least consistency in terms of, I know that this is how the magic operates on a basic level, some leeway here and there in terms of what can be done with the magic, some that can't be done with the magic would also be allowed. But you don't want to stray too much from the basic formula unless there is justifiable narrative reason for it. If you have someone who is, I guess, I don't know, a hard studier of magic theory and knows how to implement text into magical constructs, like that's a reason for an increased aptitude for magical.
Yeah, like Sonata that can apparently teleport.
There's definitely a lot of aspects to this world, and as I say, it's something that I'm sure the writers are very acutely aware of and working towards. And link it back to earlier when someone asked about this same things, is that sometimes you got to put a break on things. Just because conscious of time and stuff, we'll just wrap that question up there. But thank you for asking, Karma.
Yeah, it is a very broad question.
Yeah, well, thank you again for asking.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Okay, so we now will go back to some written in questions. We have quite a few coming in. One of these is coming from someone called Accurate Balance, and apparently asking on behalf of the Chinese translation. Thank you as well to those who do assist with those. So the
Chinese
first
fans are
question-
awesome, by the way.
There's a
We
lot of
appreciate our Chinese fans here.
we always keep an eye on every aspect from all over. First question is, how wide will the storyline spread, and will characters beyond season 5 be included? This is a simple one, so I will just pass this to you, Serenity, just to answer quickly.
Well, as to whether or not characters from season 5 or onward will appear, no. That's the short answer. This was written between seasons 4. This is planned to be taking place between seasons 4 and 5, so anything beyond season 5 will not make an appearance. And as for how far the story will spread, I'm not exactly sure what that question is supposed to mean, but it's 5 cases long.
All across Equestria.
We go in various different locations across Equestria, as you can see in the trailer.
Right.
So that's the long and short of it.
Pretty simple, standard. The second question then is one again aimed, I think, at the video editors, possibly riggers as well. So Pat and MV. Will mechanics that are not included in the main games be introduced? For example, mob cross-examination, ending argument, or something completely original? Now, this is of course slightly difficult to answer because of the implications this may carry.
It is extremely difficult to answer without spoiling future episodes, but I will say that look out for possible things that we do in the future, because we try to do things that the Ace Attorney games haven't really done before, which might include, including mechanics from a bunch of different other games into our series here. I'm not confirming whether or not we will be using certain mechanics, but I will say to keep a lookout in case we do end up adding said mechanics.
V, anything to just pull in?
All I gotta say to that is this is definitely not gonna be an easy task for me or any other animator that's in here.
We don't intend to make your life easy.
Mainly because of Adobe Animate.
Not even just because of Adobe Animate. I mean in general, bro. All right, but that's all I gotta say. Move on.
Smashing. All right. Another writing question from BK Vart S. I have to admit, originality and names are impressive from here. Good job on those. What is this is actually to all developers. We're all developers, and myself as well. What is your most and least favorite antagonist in all of the Ace Attorney franchise, including prosecutors and Heart Vox, or as they refer to them, Maelstrom Heart?
Can I answer this first real quick?
Yeah, let's go with you, MV, since you didn't really get much to say on the last one.
Okay, then. Least favorite. I don't have a least favorite. I can never think of a least favorite. Actually, no. You want to know my least favorite? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Alba. Turnabout Ablaze antagonist. Alba.
You just went on a rant about Ablaze. You're not
Corcus Alba.
Yeah, Corcus Alba. That guy. I don't like him. Not even as an antagonist. I don't like him.
I will give him this. He is very sturdy like a tree.
Yeah, I wonder why. Also, favorite antagonist, by the way, Dahlia Hawthorne. Can't change my mind. I'm out of here.
Can I answer this one as well?
Yep, Joel, I was just about to pass it off to you, actually.
All right. Anyway, my favorite antagonist is Simon Keith. Great villain. And very sympathetic as well. And my least favorite villain, probably Lance Amano from Investigations 1-3.
Oh God, that guy.
Some interesting ones.
Whiny little bitch.
Let's see. I'm just trying to think as Viola. Any least favorite antagonist from the Ace Attorney franchise?
Well, I've only played the first 2 games, so
good games.
I don't really think I have a least favorite so far. If I have a favorite, I guess it would be Gant, just from the way that the case presented him, I guess.
Ooh, it's a good choice. And Shannon, any other thoughts as well from you?
Let's see. Favorite antagonist? I'd have to go with Old Man Von Karma.
Objection.
Do you, is there any particular reasoning behind choosing Old Man Karma, particularly because of your specific choice of words there, Shannon, that we should be aware of? Or
Well, I wanted to. Well, it was either. Well, there's only 2 Von Karmas in the series, and I just wanted to make that distinction very clear, so that people don't think Francisca Von Karma. I can't talk right now.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not as if you're a VA and we need you to speak clearly for a future episode. We don't need to worry about that at all.
It's not like Scootaloo is a relevant character in this case or anything.
Indeed. We don't need some flightless chickens. Anyway, continue, Shannon.
Hey, don't pick on me. But anyways, least favorite.
I will send Pixie towards your house if you keep calling Scootaloo.
Least favorite, I'm gonna have to say Professor Means. It's the smile. That freaking smile.
Oh, the ends justify the means.
For the means. Oh my god.
The ends justifies the means.
Interesting.
My smile justifies the dentist appointment.
We've got some good choices here. I feel like I'm going to have to be a bit naughty, guys, and apologize. I wouldn't question, but it was also directed at me. I will slide in, and haha, pun here. Goda. Wow, that's amazing. To answer this question, and I make a Doug's breakfast of it. Godot, as I'd like to refer to him. Godot, but I don't care. Just because of that beautiful soundtrack. The dark fragrance of coffee. No other reasons. Everyone else is awful. Best soundtrack. Best fun.
Okay, bro.
Best theme song.
Nice wrong opinion. I could ban you right now.
Are you sure? We've tried the permissions fan server already, and I'm too powerful.
Okay, no, let's not talk about that one.
All right, so we've got that question. Just double checking. Right. Let's just have another quick look around, just because I know that there's been quite a few people. Thank you everyone for sending in your questions as well. Apologies if some of them are just getting lost. As I say, quite a lot of people. Here's a quick question from a little while ago. Asking from Hydra Lalo, again butchering amazing names. Asking about what the requirements are. Joining and like what type of tests we usually do, etc. And if in the upcoming sort of future, if there's likely to be any announcements for recruitment. Specifically, by the looks of it, they're asking about animation. So Al, this is about obviously the team. Anything you want to just sort of answer for Hydra Lalo? Again, names.
All right. So in terms of joining the team, clearly we don't need another director. That's my job. We don't need new writers. Because they're doing a fine job at that so far. Video editors, honestly, a lot of the team members are learning how to video edit, so that's great. Audio engineers, we're good on that. Background artists, I think we're good on that. It's the animators, man. It's the animators and riggers.
Hell, but I'm literally doing most of every single character by myself, and I'm not a fan of it at all.
All right,
please.
so if this goes to everyone who is watching right now, if you're interested in joining the team as an animator / rigger, there is a test. Basically, the test is, I give you the base pony rig made by I'm sorry, a tired brony, and then you just animate that rig however you want. They can be walking, they can be talking, they can just do a bunch of silly stuff, and just show that you can animate that rig. And if it's your first time using Adobe Animate, I will offer you there is a tutorial playlist that I will link just to make sure that you get the gist of whatever. But and basically, if we think that your test is adequate, we will have you join the team, but we still got to train you to make sure that you know how to animate the rigs properly if there's still some kinks to be worked out. And you're also going to learn how to rig, which is basically like turning that base pony rig into an actual character. So
Yes.
as you can see or hear from me, you can see why the animator / rigger sounds like a really tasking job. And the fact is that there's very little animator / riggers, it could potentially be a giant bottleneck down the line.
Me and Shannon can both vouch for that, just saying.
I'm sorry, Shannon and MV.
It was worth it in the end.
Hey, at least I got to make a character look very poggers, but I can't say their name yet.
But was it though? Was it truly worth it all?
Yes, it was. You absolute cocksucker.
Yeah, people don't realize how much work it takes to make these characters. Like,
are a nice person, MV.
But if anyone can help out with that, please consider helping us out, because you might be the reason why we get the next episode as soon as we did. Shannon being our biggest example, we would never have gotten far with Case 2 if it wasn't for her.
Well, and as I say, great job for getting on with this, MV and Shannon and everyone else as well. It's back in the audio engineer little group, we always like to talk about what we're doing with lines, but looking at everybody else's roles with this project, I am always amazed at how talented everybody is, from the VAs to animators to the video editors. To even cakewalking now, it is an art, and we all have to admit it is an art nonetheless. And of course, our background artists as well, not forgetting Viola, because I won't lie, looking at a black screen would be very, very a bit empty, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Right now, we've got the next live question. It's been a while since we've had one of those, so let's get the next person in. Hello, Jules.
Hello.
Hello. What's your first question?
I have a question for Al. It's like a two-part for
Okay.
And my question for you, Al, is that do the project, once you do, of course, finish EoJ and everything, other projects or things that you might think of doing, and also if way in the future, like when there probably might be another Phoenix Wright MLP crossover, which I probably might know it probably might happen. Do you think that you might probably lend a hand and probably give them the pointers and everything in case if they might need some help or assistance?
Wow, this is a super future question. Well, first off, we gotta finish EoJ. That might take a while, but we hope.
I know. I'm sorry.
I know. It's fine. In terms of the first question, me and the team actually thought about doing something after EoJ, like an original thing. We are. Because we have gotten so used to each other, we have became such good friends, and we want to support each other to a point where you know what?
Awesome.
We've been working so hard with EoJ, and the potential of it is so high. Imagine what would happen if we actually were able to make something original, and we can actually finally get paid to do.
What if we actually had a budget?
Yeah, we actually have a budget.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's way down the line. It's not gonna happen anytime soon, but we are considering staying as a team, whether we work on another project or not. But I really hope we do another project, because I think all together we can actually make something amazing.
And even if we don't do another project,
you guys can do it. And there's also another thing I wanted to say to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've I've been stuck around with Al Javis, of course. Like I've been subscribed to your channel for so long, and ever since when you first announced it for EoJ, I really was happy that there was somebody else who was gonna do something that the first person did with the first, thanks right, MLP, about Storm. And I just want to say, you guys are doing an amazing job. You guys are really like, it's like you guys were meant to just come together to work on this big project.
Thank you.
That you guys are probably still gonna hang out and everything. I really can't wait for what surprises are in store for EoJ, as well as some more probably surprise cameos, and who knows, maybe we might be in for a surprise at the end. Maybe not.
I think this might be like stroking my ego a bit. Like I feel like I'm like the Turnabout Storm sequel that actually succeeded while everyone else failed. Like that's part of the reason why I kept going, because all the Turnabout Storm sequels and spin-offs that I've been following, they just disappeared. Like they're discontinued and whatever, and I was the last one left, and this came out with a bang. So I'm happy for myself to do that.
You did an amazing job with that.
Well,
and
thank you.
I really am just glad that you're very welcome. I'm glad that you will still like work on this amazing project with this team, and they'll be here for you in case of if you ever come to a turn like something is wrong, or you might need to redo something. At least they'll be there to listen to you and like, we got you, man. We'll definitely be there to change things around. It doesn't seem like.
As for the second question, about if there was ever going to be another, like a sequel to our sequel, will I ever like help out? That's the thing though. Like EoJ is just one sequel being made by some who's a fan of Turnabout Storm. I was just one of many who wanted to make their own sequel. I just happened to be the one that to actually get it out. So there's probably going to be a bunch of other like quote unquote EoJ sequels that I really can't like give much input, because I don't want to like act like I'm favoriting one or the other. So it's kind of like tough to say. But all I will say is that if there ever was an EoJ sequel after EoJ is done, like I think that's awesome. Like but I will say, like, if you're working on an EoJ sequel now, like, wait until like it's till the end, because I'm pretty sure you guys have no idea what's gonna happen. You guys are not ready.
Exactly.
None of you are ready.
I have no idea. I know it's gonna end with a bang.
The last thing you want to see writing.
I know it's gonna end with a big bang.
The last thing you want to see writing your sequel, and then have the real end of EoJ come along and be like, oh, my story does not match what happened in EoJ
My perfect
whatsoever.
fanfic is ruined.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Like, there's one last thing. I watched like your funny videos, like the commentary, like you and the cast, and just doing some funny stuff together while watching the video. And of course, I know somebody mentioned this earlier about the cakewalk thing. Do you guys think that you might make some more videos or something like that? Like something.
If this is about like watch parties, then those are kind of on hold for the bit, because while I was editing, we do have another one recorded, but while I was editing it, I burnt out. So I'm taking a break from watch parties. And not only that, but me and MV, who edit the watch parties, are focused more on the production of EoJ at the moment, which would mean we're putting the watch party editing on hold until we have like some downtime.
Yes.
Okay.
Brilliant. Well, Jules, just before we go, Evie, yes, did you have something quick you wanted to add as well?
It was only a thing when it came to canceled, talk about the Storm project and such. All right, I probably said this before in one stream, but if I didn't, I'm just gonna say it again. And all right, the one time I saw Aljavis, right, the one after watching Turnabout Storm and enjoying it, right, literally like a couple days later, EoJ pops up in my recommended, and not gonna lie, I had the thought in my mind saying, yeah, this project is not gonna get finished, and I guarantee will not get its first episode on God, right? And I have never been so happy to be proven wrong literally 1 year later as soon as episode 1 came by. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, everyone, you guys are just doing awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. The next part of EoJ.
Oh, we appreciate it. We all do. Well, thank you very much for your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ta-ta.
See ya.
Right. Okay. Now we will move on to another question, which is I kind of accidentally did not see originally whilst we were going through previous questions. Question itself is the opposite of what was asked again from Subby, which was what has been the least fun / interesting part of working on the project, which we talk a lot about what we're enjoying, and rightfully so there's a lot, but as we mentioned before, there's quite a lot here. I'm going to pass this one just because we haven't heard a lot from Viola and Katie recently, so we'll start with you, Katie. What's been the most, I wouldn't say tormentuous, is that even a word, writers? Tormenting, there we go. See, I may be English, but I don't understand the language. Exactly. What's been the most sort of tormenting part of the process, do you think, Katie? What's really gotten sort of what's not necessarily been soul destroying, but a little bit sort of.
I think for me personally, there's two things. I'm going to rattle them off really quick, just because I know we've been taking a very long time. One is some fair devotion issues, Pat, which was so fun fact, I do not record on my own computer because my computer is it's a little tiny laptop and I love it, but it's not good for anything that's serious. So I go up and record on Patrick's computer when I do my lines. And I don't know how this happened twice, but somehow the microphone and gain settings were very, very wrong. So I had to re-record my Fair Devotion lines. And I think even the re-recorded ones had some problems. So that was kind of frustrating. And it was more frustrating because we didn't actually know, at least the second time, didn't know what was wrong. So that's one. The other is just waiting. Like, I love you all. Please take your time, focus on your mental health, focus on your general health and general life. But also, I've been sitting here for 6 months with nothing to do. I'm like, I'm that person throwing a ball against a wall.
Wow.
It is
so
true.
Basically, when you were having problems recording Fair Devotion lines, Fair Devotion was being unfair devotion.
Yeah, exactly. There's speaking of lines though, you're talking about delay. Cough cough. I believe that there is some outstanding work that I need to receive at some point, Katie. So cough cough. Viola, anything to add about something that's been a little bit sort of the most difficult part of the process thus far?
I wouldn't say most difficult, but I'm just gonna echo what Katie said about waiting, because once the backgrounds are done, then it's just waiting for everything else to come together, which can take a while. But I guess also something else that can be a bit annoying for myself as a background artist is when I notice an error in a background that I've made and it's too late to change it because it's already been released in the final product. So
That sucks.
yeah.
That's fair. Well, with that question aside, we'll jump into the next live question, I think. Unless so, and up next. Hello, Sweet Notes.
Hello.
All good.
Working.
I feel like we're having a connection issue slightly. Hold on, let's just make sure.
1 second, I'm gonna make sure that this was. Yeah, no, it's saying it's automatic.
Okay, we seem to be having a slight technical difficulty here. Sweet Nose, if you just want to quickly pass your question over via DM, I'll ask it. In the meantime, we'll just hang tight, see if your audio gets back. Whilst we wait on that question coming through, I'd say, Joel, do you want to add anything to the last question about difficult?
Something to add as well. Hold up.
Well, 1 second, Evie. We'll get to Joel and then we'll jump to you.
Yeah, what was the last question?
It was about what's been a difficult part of the process.
The most difficult part of the process?
A difficult part, most difficult.
Honestly, it's mostly like when there's like 2 or 3 different takes that I really like, and I don't know which one to pick mainly. Like it's definitely really hard at that point, like which one people are gonna hear, because like if I like multiple takes, then obviously like I would ideally want not have to pick between any of them, but I gotta because it's my job.
It is, and I can sympathise with you there. MV, what was your point going to be?
3 words: Twilight Sparkle's rig. I am not going to go on a gamer rant like I did in the DC, but all I got to say is broken, stupid bitch that I had to revisit multiple times in this project, and I still have to revisit now. How? Because it would not stop breaking, and I also have to blame Patrick for making me have to make more poses for her. Fuck you, Patrick. I am angry.
Twilight is setting a good example for leaders everywhere, huh?
What did you say?
I said Twilight really is setting a good example for all the leaders out there, huh?
Yes, I am mad beyond comprehension. But whatever, that's all I got to say. Move on.
She's your favorite pony, isn't she? She's purple.
She's number 10 as a favorite pony, right? She's awesome. She's a cool pony, but she's not a cool character to work with in this project specifically.
Oh, there's some Twilight hate here. I'm not sure how that's going to work. So MV. Just throw it out Twilight hate.
His favorite pony is Starlight, so I mean that pretty much says everything.
I'm going to murder you. Shut the fuck up.
All right. Well, with that rather sort of, heated discussion out of the way, let's move into our next live question. Hello, Deaf Wade?
Oh, I recognize that guy. What's up?
Hello, all good?
Hi there.
Hello.
What's your first question?
So this is basically a basic question, but what are your thoughts on like the G5 movie trailer?
It's awesome.
I'm excited.
I got spoiled though. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll say that.
Never mind. I think we've all sort of given our points, but
I am sorry.
Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
I am not very optimistic, but I'm curious to see what will happen with the whole thing, because when I first heard of the G5 world being based off of G4, that sort of killed G5 for me.
Wow.
Really?
Ooh. I don't know. It made me hype for it more, not gonna lie.
Because the reasoning why is because I feel if one is to make something else, based, from a franchise, like, how we have 4 generations of My Little Pony. If we are to make, like a new generation or a new, part of the franchise, then we would have to, I feel, make something original and to make it, its own thing rather than trying to take components of something else and make it based off of something, which is fine, but for me, it turned me off of G5 for a bit.
Yeah, it's an understandable concern.
We'll start with Joel first, then we'll head to you, Serenity. Did you have anything to add, Joel?
I thought of the G5 trailer, right?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, cautiously optimistic, but I'm looking forward to it.
And Serenity?
I've been invested in the production of G5, I don't know, I guess since we first...
You yammer about it every single week.
since when we first learned details about it in February. Initially, I was turned off by the first press release of it. But then the actual images started to come out in the synopsis for the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. This is actually intriguing. And fears quelled. And then ever since then, it's just, I don't know. As we've been getting more and more information, I've just gotten more and more excited for it. So here's to hoping the movie is as good as it looks like it could be.
All right. Dwarf Blade, any other question?
I guess I had to ask, like, how complex would you say putting together EoJ is? Because I can imagine it takes a lot of work and time.
Ooh. I mean, that's a trick question.
It's complex in what fashion?
This, I guess, in general, like putting it together, like getting the assets for it.
Let's start with Serenity on this one, because obviously as manager and writer there's a bit there, and I say MV can add in about assets, as obviously you've been discussing a bit before. So Serenity, if you want to talk about it from a top-down perspective.
All right, well, first and foremost, we have to get a script together for the upcoming episode or episodes. After that, after the whole writing the script, proofreading it, finalizing it, that gets sent off to voice actors and the video editors. The voice actors voice act, obviously, and the editors put together what they can of the script with the assets that they have. While writing the script, we will probably also design any characters we need for it, or any background stills, or just backgrounds in general.
The evidence.
And the evidence as well. Al Javis is the one who does the stills and the evidence. In terms of character design, we usually work on that as a collective team, throwing ideas together and just molding the character. And once we finalize a design, we send that off to the riggers with a complete turnaround so they can put the character together and animate. And then Al Javis also sends them a list of poses for the character to be in when they say various lines. Once we have the characters we need, we have the art assets we need, and we have the voice lines, editors usually put that into the video as they collect them. Then we usually have to go through a polishing phase once we have various scenes of the video done. That can take a couple of days, especially with me, because I will go through the video frame by frame by frame and point out any errors that I find.
It's true.
It's agonizing whenever he starts doing polish notes. Literally, the moment I see him start going through the polish notes, I go like, "Oh God, here we go again."
Once all of that is put together, we add the music at the end. The music is the last thing we put into the video, and once we've decided that all of that's good, we give the episode one more watch, and then we publish it.
Smashing. There you go.
It takes multiple watches.
MV from a asset production perspective,
The only perspective that I can give is on the animator side of things. Serenity is right on the money when he said something about the character designs and also the pose sheets, right? But what he didn't mention is that sometimes, even with the pose sheets, sometimes in the middle of editing, right, there ends up being additional poses that need to be done because, they're not done if they don't work without them. So then once again, I would always have to go back to one of the rigs, or at least tell one of our riggers to go back and add some additional poses that were needed. All right, and this exact process is repeated until we get the right ones. That happened with Twilight, by the way, which is why I'm angry about her. But what's the best thing to say? Other than that, it's kind of on the nose of what Serenity said. When it came to the animation creation.
Brilliant.
It also sucks, by the way, and I cannot work at all whenever I'm not motivated to do anything. So yeah, that's cool.
That's a fair point. Well, at least we're motivated to get at least through case 2 before we kick the bucket, or at least in your case, before we kick your bucket. Def,
you
thank you
guys.
very much. Thank you very much for your question.
Thank you for having me here.
No worries. Have a great day.
I'm a part of the stream.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay. So we've gone through quite a lot of people at the moment. Just currently having the next person set up shortly. But
Didn't Sweet Notes write you a question or?
Very good. Someone's on the ball tonight, aren't they? And it's not me. But at least, maybe it's a ball of oil. Maybe that's why you'll keep on going. So, favorite, yes, as you said, Sweet Notes. First question is, who is your favorite G5 character? I assume that's been revealed. That's been revealed thus far.
I do not have an answer.
It might be Izzy Moonbow for me.
I'll have to say Izzy Moonbow for me personally.
Predictable man. You have.
I don't know if she'll be like as good as Pinky was, but she looks promising at least.
Izzy. The true character is the Captain Tuna Seagull dude that you see for 2 seconds in the trailer.
Captain Tuna Seagull dude.
He wears a tuna can for a hat. That's awesome.
That's his entire character, in your opinion. That's all that needs to be said about him. Okay.
All you need.
Actually, wait, I got an answer for this.
Oh, do you?
Yes, the Manfred pony and the Karen pony. That's who.
Well, as you can tell, we've really researched G5 enough to understand what their names are. So, apologies if we've already
that's what their names are.
We've already, sealed our fate in terms of people's future favorite characters by, Tuna Pony, Hat Man, or whatever. Second question.
It's a seagull.
It's going to be my dinner in a minute. Question number 2. What's your other favorite cartoon? In Sweet Note's case, it was The Owl House. I'm going to, just because there's quite a lot of us here and we sort of jump on that, I'll go to Joel and I'll go to Viola for this one. So, Joel?
My other favorite cartoon? It's either Mau Mau or Full Metal Alchemist. Not sure which one I like more.
Or you're gonna say Full Metal Alchemist is a cartoon, are we? Oh, I see.
I mean, anime in Japanese is literally cartoons. So.
I won't pull my weeb card out too much there. Viola?
I would also say The Owl House as well.
Okay. Anyone else want to say MV? Because I know you're usually the resident profile picture person. In particular, there's one profile picture that I know you like to pull out quite a lot. One character you like to pull out on your profile picture. Is it the same? Cartoon show.
I like a lot of cartoons. Fuck it, I'll say Steven Universe. That one.
Ooh.
It was my favorite show for a long time. All right, been there since it started when I was 8. It's awesome.
Impressive. Well, that's good. Wide selection of cartoons, and of course, being an animated series, we could all say we enjoy ML. Well, obviously, we are on this project. Smashing. We're almost ready just to get set up with the next live Q&A person, so we'll just hang tight whilst they're whilst we get them set up. In the meantime, I have a small question, I suppose, that I'd like to ask, and I'm going to direct this more to I'd say both our VAs here, Shannon and Katie again. When it comes to being your character, what do you do to mentally prepare yourself to become that character? Like, what is the sort of ritual you do, so to speak? So we'll start with Shannon and then we'll go with Katie.
Okay, so for me, the first thing I do is just to warm up by try getting the voice down, because the way with my style of voice acting is I can shift to different pitches pretty easily. Like I can get pretty high and then pretty low. But getting the voice right is what's most important in this case, and so I just warm up by listening to previous recordings and then practicing with the voice. and then so I can shift into sounding like Scootaloo, and then I need to really, really work on how she talks, and then so then I listen to clips from the show. So basically, it just boils down to a lot of auditory preparation, so that I know how she's supposed to sound. So stuff like that.
Great advice. And sorry,
you really demonstrated that well there as well.
Yeah, I will say though, voicing Scootaloo does a number on my voice, so I try to do
very raspy voice.
Yeah, so I try to do her lines in one sitting, and then afterwards I just spend the rest of the day just nursing my voice and not talking.
Well, I mean, please don't destroy your voice just yet. We do need you, at least for a little longer, just a little bit longer.
No,
Though
I know, I'm taking care of myself. Thank you very much.
Well, I didn't say take care of yourself. I just said don't die. Anyway, we'll get our next live Q&A person in now because we've got the ready. So, hello, Sonic the Pony. That was not something I was expecting to say, actually. What is your question?
Okay.
Hello, Sonic.
Hello.
You there?
We may be having some more.
One second, I'm.
Oh God, again.
This is.
Are we getting RGC'd again?
Possibly.
Try now.
Okay, good. I was just wondering when it might connect right now because.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. Okay. Glad we got you here. You know, space-time continuum is a bit of a funky thing. Right. What's your question?
Okay, this is just one question with a follow-up, but have any one of you guys ever played the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, but without any spoilers, which case would you like, what would you consider your best one from it?
Right.
Not played it.
Not played it, so.
Right. Well, by the sounds of it, we'll limit this to 2 people from here on out just to make sure things go nice and smooth. So, Pat, you've got an answer. So let's start with you.
Yes. I'm currently replaying the Chronicles myself, but fun fact, for probably 2-3 years now, I've had to keep my mouth shut because I knew the events of the game from probably the beginning when it was announced for an English release. So I had to keep my mouth shut the entire time. But yes, I've played the games. And my favorite case out of the games would probably be case 3 of the second game.
Okay. What's your follow-up then, Sonic?
All right. For the follow-up, from the game, from like the schematics of the game, like the art of deductions or the juror system, would you possibly might consider adding those things up to the story at some point in the future?
I can also answer this with a follow-up.
I was going to say, Pat, why didn't you put this up?
Because I already answered this question, I believe, earlier, which is we cannot say exactly what mechanics we will be adding to EoJ because that's a bit spoilery. But I will say be on the lookout for any that we might add because we have considered adding other mechanics from other games into EoJ.
Oh,
it just won't be easy.
No, it will not.
Yeah, we've established that.
True.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your question and also for your follow-up. I will say I haven't had the Great Ace Attorney yet, but I will be jumping into that eventually myself. But thank you again for your question. Okay. We'll now move on to the next live question. Hello, SF. Are we going to have an RPC or?
Yeah.
We're good. Amazing. Right. What's your question?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys would be able to answer this. So I guess I'll try to phrase it in the most maybe unspoilerly way to answer it. But do you guys have any plans for other humans in the Ace Attorney series to be appearing within the series?
No.
Yeah. Short answer, no.
Short answer, no. All right.
Short answer is no, unfortunately, on that one.
As much as we'd like to have Edgeworth and everyone else, like having 4 humans in Equestria was already much. So
it is.
Fair enough.
So
those damn humans.
To basically say from here on out, to everyone else who might also have this question, no, there won't be any more human characters in Elements of Justice. It will only just be the 4 that are already there.
All right then.
Yeah, poor boy, my poor boy Edgeworth. Do you have a? Do
not mention that. Do not mention that profile picture, Mr. G.
Swear to God.
Well, it's too late now to mention it because it's been on the screen in the chair for the past 2 and a bit hours. So,
fucking right.
You're welcome, by the way.
Moving on.
SF, any follow up or secondary
That
question?
was more or less it, actually.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for the time and your question.
Yeah, no problem. I'll get out of here so the next person can.
All right. Don't worry.
See ya.
I'll take
Thank
care
you.
of that.
Have a good day, dude.
Okay, so I mean, you had to, of course, mention it, didn't you, Pat? You had to have mentioned my wonderful persona of all things in order to, you know. I must say that.
Let's move on.
I must say that. No. I stand on this. I must say that Shannon did a fantastic job in bringing to life one of the most memorable characters, I would argue, of this entire
moving
project.
on. Shannon, I love you, but we're moving on.
Move on now.
Are you
move on,
sure?
Move
I'd
on.
love
Move
to
on. Move on.
look
Move
into
on.
this.
Move on. Move on. Move on.
I mean, we can talk about something else related to you, Pat. I mean,
Move on,
what else?
please.
Oh my gosh,
Hey,
Mr.
Mr.
G.
G.
No, move on, please.
Next question.
All right, let's have a look in then to the next question. Sage is going to go through because there's a couple still in the background. Let's see. We've got one regarding music. Is there going to be any further additions of music from Turnabout Storm? This one I'll hand to Jarvie.
You mean an inclusion or re-editions? And I'm going to assume both.
Go for both, yeah.
Re-inclusion.
Go for both.
I'd say yeah, if it's needed. I know Al said in the very beginning of the production of the entire project, he intended to, get through remastering several of the original tracks. So yeah, I think it's definitely planned.
Yeah, it is.
Reference. What?
I'm
not working on that or anything.
But like, I have thought about like remaking the old Turnabout Storm OST. I mean, if you were an OG if you're an OG of the series, like you would know that I had a video that showed all the remade music. Like in fact, one of them was Crusading in 2-1 when Apple Bloom was talking about her being a crusader. But if you hear that compared to the old one, it's different. But I mean, not a whole lot, but you can tell that it's different from what I originally made. So like, if I were to remake these songs again, it would definitely be different from how I originally made them. So
yeah,
they are planned.
Require a lot of time.
Yes,
and
it will take a lot of time.
A lot of time, Al. Time. Tick tock. Okay, we're moving on.
No, Joey. We are not going to get held up on this. Right. Next is our next live. Hello there.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Zeus, you in?
Hello?
Zeus, you there?
Might be RTC.
Are we alive?
We are alive. I
we
feel
are.
like we just had a slight incident there with the communication. Zeus. Hello, Zeus. You are.
Just a second. Time
Zeus?
Panel screaming.
Oh my god, again?
What?
Lamau.
Discord's not happy.
Hey.
All right.
Hello.
Don't worry about it. Discord, if you just not Discord. God, I'm asking Discord to send me questions now. Zeus, if you just want to send me the question via chat, I'll get to you ASAP.
Can you not hear me?
No, he's here.
He's alive. He's alive.
We can hear him.
Yeah, I was wondering why it took forever to connect. So
No, I think I've been hopping around the region like override thing because it's not connecting to certain people because of time zones and stuff.
I mean, the more fun explanation is that just Discord hates us. Zeus, what is your question?
Yeah, my question is just a general one for the team, but I just want to preface this by saying that I've heard a lot of, why people got into the MLP fam and all that, but knowing how much Ace Attorney is a niche franchise as it is in the Capcom community, what first? How are you aware? Simple question. How did you come to contact the Attorney franchise?
Could you get a little closer to the mic? You're kind of like, are you far away from the mic? Can you get a little closer, please? Can't hear you.
No, it's right next to my face.
Now it's good. Now it's good.
Yeah,
I'm on my phone.
Just give it another go.
Okay, let's try this again. So, for the Ace Attorney franchise, how did you first come in contact into it, and what's been the biggest thing that kept you going with the franchise?
Okay, good question. I will give this one to MV and Al.
Wait, what's the question?
The question is, how did you come into contact with the Ace Attorney franchise, and what kept you going? Is that right, Zeus?
That's it.
Yeah.
Should I go first?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did say so. You don't have to. I'll pass it off if it's too difficult. I mean, it's quite a tough question. I know.
No, I got this. To answer this, no, it's not tough. Come on. Okay. To answer that, I got into the Ace Attorney franchise with this answer is very cliche, but I got into it because Turnabout Storm brought me into it. I was already well aware of the franchise by now, how even before Turnabout Storm, specifically because internet memes, they're funny, right? And what kept me going was probably Turnabout Goodbyes. That case was so pog for me to the point where it just said, "Ayo, I need to keep playing this to see what happens," right? And also EoJ, because I finished Turnabout Storm and then I played the first game, but I didn't finish it. So then by the time EoJ was actually close to releasing its first episode, I decided to keep playing, and here I am now. I'm a big fan of these games, and I still have not even played Spirit of Justice yet. Fuck me. But
Al, as the director, this would, I suppose, is a good question because obviously mixing the two. Where did you come in?
Well, just like MV, I got into Ace Attorney because of Turnabout Storm. I mean, I've heard things here and there about the series. Like, the one thing that I heard about from the series was the objection. But Turnabout Storm was the thing that introduced me to it. And as for what kept me interested, what kept me going with the series, well, after seeing some Let's Plays of the game, I decided to play it for myself. And what kept me going was after seeing Mia's death, I was like, no, you can't just kill off a character like that. And seeing the mishaps of spirit channeling, I'm like, all right, this is ridiculous. I want to keep going. Where is this going to lead to? So it started off with because I love Mia as a character, and then as I played on with the games, it gets better and better, and especially Trials of Tribulation that really hooked me in.
Oh, really hooked. Yeah. It's impressive where all these things end up coming, but I'm kind of surprised. Well, I shouldn't be that surprised, just because I got into the series before Turnabout Storm. I'm just curious if anyone here, was aware and played the game before, Turnabout Storm played. Well, I know I was, but there's plenty. I'm sure there's lots of backstories to everybody in the team. But one thing we can all say for certain is that we've all fallen in love with both games. Both games, Lord. We've fallen in love with the game and obviously MLP, and we want to mix those two together. So yeah. But thank you very much for your question, Zeus. Yeah, not a problem. And yeah, I wish Turnabout Storm ended up being a game at some point. That would have been cool to see.
Well, there were plans to make it a game, but it never came to fruition.
True. All right. Well, thank you very much, Zeus. Thank you.
Yeah,
Farewell,
thank you.
guys. Bye. Cool. On to our next question. Hello, Chaos Lady. Welcome. what is your first question? Oh, are we having the?
Of course, it's just gonna keep happening.
This is
It's just gonna keep happening.
this is obviously a subtle. It is a trial by fire. Only those who can pass the Discord RTC are willing enough and able enough to ask a question, obviously.
Okay, Chaos Lady, can you try talking?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What is your first question?
Well, first of all, hello everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
My question is my question is, what made you choose the timeline of events? Like, we're after season 4 and after Dual Destinies. Why those specific times specifically?
Ooh, good question.
Well,
Al, this is a question for you.
Yeah, this has been a thing since the very beginning of the production. Because when I initially first wrote Elements of Justice, this was during the time of the end of season 4 and right after I played Dual Destinies.
I see.
And I decided to keep it that way because like I didn't want to like re-edit the entire story for the sake of like trying to keep up with the keep up with like MLP series as it goes on.
You keep some things in there that were revealed later, like Scootaloo's parents, because we didn't know about them.
Yeah, like that thing had to get changed like during Case 2's writing because we didn't know her parents at the time, but now we do know her parents. It also like gave us it also gave us the opportunity to like do call forwards in the show in EoJ. Kind of like give a little reference here and there, but it's also why like part of the reason, also another reason why we want to keep it between season 4 and 5 is because like after season 5, like things kind of get hectic with the amount of characters that are introduced and whatever. So I want to keep things stable. As for the Ace Attorney side, like it was a weird decision I made, like having the Dual Destinies like timeline mixed in with like season 4 and 5 timeline, but I really wanted to have Phoenix and the rest of the Red Indian Agency in Turnabout Storm, and I figured that was my way of doing it. It's kind of time
legit and his input.
time stuff like happened. So
I may add on to that though, Javis. You wanted them in there, but you didn't want to use Athena or Apollo.
Oh yeah. That was another dumb decision I made.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty more of those to come out. I'm joking, of course. I'm joking. Chaos, thank you very much for your question.
Oh yes, thank you for listening.
No worries. Have a lovely day. Right, we now poor bloke who's been waiting for a while now. Our next Q&A questionee. Right, are we going to have an RTC? Are we going to have an RTC space?
Space.
Yep, it's another RTC.
It's another one.
Yep, another RTC. Do it again. Hello?
Okay, try.
I went funky there for a second as well.
I saw it me.
Space, you there?
No, I did something. Everyone went funky for a second.
Space, like you there?
Okay, time to try a different region.
We're going on the trip, everybody. We're going all over the world now.
Oh my god. Discord! I'm howling at the moon and sleeping in the middle of a summer afternoon!
We just transported to Russia. Space Slug will Russia work.
Hello?
Oh, we can now play
Russia
CSGO.
work.
We're playing
I
CSGO.
think Europe was working
This is
before.
horrible.
Space, hello?
Space Slug, are you there?
Space Slug, can you
Alright.
check to make sure that you're not just AFK? I highly doubt that you are, but down.
Hello?
It's
Hello?
sound.
Static.
Hello.
He's here.
He's here. Brilliant. Space,
Alright,
what is your
hurry
question?
up. Ask your question before Discord.
Okay, well, is there going to be a stepladder joke in this?
No.
I mean, who knows?
We want
Is
to,
that
but
your
we don't know where to
question?
put it.
I actually had 2 questions, but Salman said I could ask 2 questions.
Go ahead. That was so bad. I'll let you have another one.
Doing, Step?
What are the difficulties of working together as a team? This is for everyone.
You mean
difficulties? Oh boy! Oh boy!
Right.
Oh boy!
Just because I don't want this to turn into one of our therapy sessions, I'm going to limit this one to. I'm going to give this one to Patrick because I know that he's been the cause of so many of our problems. I'm joking, and I'll give this.
You.
And I'll also give this to Viola. So Patrick, if you would please, Pat.
Right. One middle finger for you. Anyways.
Or you don't want to give me a boot to the head.
I prescribe to you a boot to the head. But yeah, basically, probably one of the hardest things of working on a team project, like especially for me, because I'm not used to working on team projects, is unifying ourselves to one vision. I feel, because sometimes we have a lot of things that we want to add, like our own contributions and all that, but we might not be able to add them because they might not work, or other people disagree with said ideas, which is a thing that happens quite a lot in EoJ. Where we think an idea will work, but it just doesn't in the end. But I feel that's one of our strengths as a team as well. The fact that we agree or disagree with each other, and debate issues and things that we should add to the series, because if not, then I think this series wouldn't be as good as it is.
Lovely. And Viola?
I think one thing that can make things tough is when one part of production gets held up just because we're waiting for another part to be done, which can be annoying sometimes. But something that, like Pat said, we usually find a way to overcome. But yeah, like also differing views on things, like in terms of maybe the way something should be designed or the way something should be animated has come up. But we do usually come to a consensus in the end.
Smashing. Okay, well, thank you, and we finally got to, and apologies for the delay there, Space.
No, it's fine. Discord and all that.
Well,
have a great day, you guys, and
everybody just likes to talk and over talk. Yes. We have a great what? Great. Yes, great.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Space.
Great day.
Thank you.
And Pinkie Pie's best pony, Starlight Lemon. Yes.
Oh no!
He got out before MV could go on a tirade.
All right.
Well, he said Pinkie Pie's best pony. That's all that matters.
This is true. This is all that we needed to hear. All right, we'll get our next live queue question. Hello, Hannah Gemhart.
Hello.
No.
Yes. No. There's no RTC.
Right, Hannah. Can I ask, what is your question?
This is a question that I recently just found out. Like, would there be a little bit of reference of my little investigation in case 2?
Okay. I'll leave this to our writers. Jarvi, we'll go with Jarvi on this one.
Is there going to be more references to My Little Investigation throughout the rest of Case 2? I mean, I feel like Case 2 as a whole is a reference. A pretty big reference to My Little Investigations. So I suppose take that as confirmation?
That is.
But also, going in, it's basically a huge reference.
I mean, yeah. When we first started writing Case 2, originally Case 2 did not have all these references to My Little Investigations, actually. Al Javis's original script for this case was very different to what it is now. But when we were changing it up and had Scootaloo be one of the defendants, we decided to just put in a bunch of references to My Little Investigations, like, because as sort of a tribute, because I mean, obviously, the investigation sadly never got to see completion. Zeus, who was here just a second ago, for those who don't know, is actually the co-director of Milo Investigations. And he loved seeing all the little nods we put to the series, but it was mostly just done out of like a tribute to Milo Investigations. So yes, you can expect to see more, because that's what the case is about.
Because I did not know about my investigation. Milo Investigation is just a continue, which made me upset. So I also have a second question.
Of course, go ahead.
Okay. Ever since this one character that we first saw during the investigation on case 2, are we gonna see more of Private Eye, or is this just a one-time thing? Because I love him.
For the writers, isn't it?
Yeah, this is for writers again. We'll go Jarvie and then Serenity.
Actually, I'm going to pass it on to Serenity.
Okay. Serenity. There we go.
Are we going to see more of Private Eye? I mean, that's kind of asking. Are we going to see more of Detective Gumshoe?
Yeah, just think of it that way.
But
are we going to see Detective?
He isn't our Detective Gumshoe. Let's be nice about that.
Are we going to make our own rule?
He's not Detective Gumshoe, but he fills the role of the detective character. Yes. So, in short, yes, we will be seeing.
I'll make sure Pretzelman gets to do things.
Excellent. All right, Hannah. Thank you very much for your question.
You're welcome. And also, I love this series because it got me back into Ace Attorney. Thank you for that.
Hey. Good to hear. Thank you very much, Hannah.
Thank you.
Yep.
So next is we got next live question incoming. Yeah. All right. Hello.
Oh boy.
There.
I know this person.
Hello, sir. I want to preference that if you ask anything embarrassing, I will ban you. I have no regrets about it.
We have a history with this person, me and Katie.
Oh no, if it's embarrassing about Pat, then go ahead, please do as much dirty.
You absolute motherfucker!
Please tell us all Pat's sordid secrets.
Sarah, your question.
The opportunity to embarrass Pat in front of 50 people is so hard to pass up, but I will pass that up.
Good.
So, I'll at some point next time I'm over, that's when it'll happen. But for now, I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to infer a bit more about the existence of the death penalty in Equestria and how being banished to the sun is just a straight death penalty. Let's talk about that, maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna give this one to Al, since this was his initial goal building.
I mean, we can send them all to the Blue Factory instead.
Tick up, Al.
Well,
Al?
this quote-unquote death penalty sent to the moon or the sun, that was a thing since Turnabout Storm. So I just figured, let's just keep it in there. As you gotta give some degree of
we did expand on it though. We didn't just want it to be banishment to the sun or moon. We also included Tartarus and just exiling them from Equestria as well.
Yeah. It's to make it more broad.
Play in the woods.
Depending on severity, banishment to the sun or moon is not the only option.
Yeah.
But
You get sent to hell instead. Or there's more fire.
There you go.
Would it be considered the death? Is your question is would it be considered the death penalty?
It's a question for you, Eddie.
Severity.
Well, in terms of they don't necessarily die when they get sent to Tartarus. And Luna survived for 1,000 years. Granted, she's an alicorn.
It's the sun though.
And the sun,
that's the sun.
It's is it considered like the real life sun where it's like a boiling ball of gas, or is it literally just a ball that's really bright?
I guess also to take into account is whether or not you interpret being banished to the sun as being put in suspended animation or not.
Right. Yeah, because in the show, like Celestia was sent to the moon to be in suspended animation, so there's no guarantee that being sent to the sun you would survive.
Yeah.
I mean, the most that I would say is that you would just get eternal blindness. So
Eternal
There's a lot of details left out about this particular point. So I mean, you're free to imagine what you
It's
will.
just it's the idea of being sent to the sun scary.
Yeah, it's like the most.
sun.
We know.
It is the sun. It is.
Perhaps it's just agonizing torture, and you don't die, but you're just tortured forever.
Oh, how
I mean-
would you not die? It's the sun.
You get kept
Listen,
alive.
if you don't get burned by the sun, then the starvation for being there will.
Death penalty.
I mean, with Tartarus, you just go to hell before you die.
Yeah.
Just like the prophecy that Mario foretold.
Well, I think we've teared apart this hot topic. Right, so thank you very much, Sarah, for your
Oh,
question.
you motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for the
That's
question.
the sun.
Roger. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Something about sand.
No.
Of course.
Okay. And on that bit of Anakin hating bombshell, we have gone through. I know I'm pulling out really obscure ones here today. On that, I would like to say that the Q&A is now officially wrapping up. Thank you to everyone who was in the Discord listening in. Didn't get a chance to ask a question. Thank you to all the people who sent in their questions early. Thank you very much to everyone who did ask a question in person and for combating that great beast of Discord and the high mountains of RTC land.
Discord's always a beast.
Yes. I'd like to extend a very special thank you as well to one of our team members, the sound man, who has been assisting well in the background, helping to make this incredibly smooth and fluid. So, whilst you haven't heard from
We
him
love you,
tonight,
sound man.
thank you very much.
Love you,
Thank you, Sound Man.
Yeah, thank you, Sound Man.
Sandman.
Sandman.
Oh no.
I was trying
Enter
to think of,
Sandman.
I don't know why. Instead of thinking of Mr. Soundman, I thought of Ocean Man, and I'm disappointed in myself. Aside from that,
I'll sing the song. We'll get copyrighted.
Yeah. But yes, no, thank you to everyone in the background here. And also a massive thank you to everyone here as well, all the panelists here for, coming, discussing, and answering. It's been a very long event, far long, not as about the same length as we usually do for events, but it's, something like this we really do want to try and do as often as possible. Today has been a great indicator of, what we can do. I'm tempted to even say that maybe in the future I will organize more of these myself, or other team members will as well, maybe even potentially some one-on-one in-depth interviews, but you have to let us know if you're interested in those. Aside from that, again, a massive thank you to everyone for listening. And I suppose there's because everyone has been so good. They've all been really good. I think we all agree that everyone who's tuned in today has been really good, haven't they?
They've been pretty good for the most part, yeah.
I followed my orders, Dad.
I think that everybody who's listening and who has also been tuning in deserves a little, sneak peek, don't you think?
Yeah,
Sure.
I agree.
I think that's good.
Absolutely.
And what better way to sneak peek than maybe something from the upcoming episode, don't you think?
Yeah, of course. Now,
that is a very good idea.
As a thank you again to everyone here, and as a thank you to all of you, we will now sign off. We will all go very quiet, and here is something very special for you to enjoy that has been worked on currently. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody.
I need everyone to mute so we can all hear this together.
Yep, done and done.
All right.
Wait, let me find it.
Of course.
You're ruining the moment.
I got my Discord crashed.
I do
Wait,
not have
let me
this
find it.
Al Davis.
You need me
You see what I have to deal with, people. You see what we all have to deal with.
Oh wait, I found it. Everyone shut up. Mute ourselves. Mute ourselves. Shh.
Ow, why?
There we go. So we finally got there.
got it.
We finally got there. But
did
there you
it.
go. This will for those of you who just couldn't quite hear it, it will also be in the Discord at a later date as well. So for everybody again, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you so much for everything. And again, thank you very much to all my fellow panelists and fellow co-workers on this project. And all we have to say now is have a good evening and hope to see you at the next event. But maybe as well one other thing. Should we do it as we usually do? Do you think it's appropriate?
I think it's appropriate.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
okay.
bad.
I'm gonna cover my ears.
All right.
What in the hell is that?
On my count of three. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Objection!
Ew.
I was early.
That was disgusting. Anyway.